Hey, this is James Phillips. Nice to see you. We're up here in beautiful Colorado Springs out near Fort Carson. And I just want to talk to you today about the Army Discharge Review Board and the process of having a personal hearing at that Army Discharge Review Board. And specifically, we're going to talk about giving the opening statement. So when you go to the Discharge Review Board and you have a live personal appearance in the Army, there are really three parts that you have to go through. One, you have an initial setting where you basically will hear what the rules are, meet the board members, it's telephonic, and you'll go through and talk to them. And then they'll set you in the same day for a later hearing where they go through and they listen to your case. So once you have that initial briefing, they'll call you back later and you're going to have a hearing. That hearing is going to basically be broken up into several different parts. One, the opening statement. The opening statement, I'm going to go over right now the 5 different parts and how you're supposed to do it. The second part after that is going to be the argument of counsel or either by the actual applicant themselves. And finally, just a closing session after that. So let's talk about the opening statement. So the opening statement is essentially you giving a 5-part interview. And the first part is they want to hear why you joined the military. And it's also a really good time for you to talk about an easy subject, kind of calm down in front of the board members. And so you're going to go through and talk about whether you have a family history. You're going to talk about whether or not there is some specific reason you had a kid, had to pay for your child, or you got married, or whatever it is, you needed the college fund. You're going to let them know what it was that made you want to join the military and join the Army. Now, you don't really have to get in too much if there wasn't much that happened in basic KIT, but you're going to want to for sure talk about your MOS, what you learned about your MOS, and why you were ready for your next duty station. After that, what you're going to talk, call it the wave tops, but you're going to then talk about the high points of the different places that you were stationed. Obviously, if you're only in for 18 months or something, you're not going to have a lot to talk about because you're probably at one duty station, something happened, and then you were separated. But if you're, had 12 years, 14 years, and you went to a number of different stations, a number of different places, I want you to get into all of that. Talk about those different highlights at each place. And also, if you got deployed, very much talk about what it is that happened on that deployment. After you've gone through your career and talked through all that, the next thing that you're going to get into is what happened. When I say what happened, I'm talking about what was it that led you out of the military. So you're going to give the background of the experience, whether there was some kind of investigation, whether you got hurt, whatever it was, you're going to talk about the basic foundational background of what happened. Then you're going to get into the details, and if it was a criminal event, you're going to then talk about what happened afterwards and talk about your the things that you think procedurally went wrong in your case. And remember, what this is all leading up to is a closing argument where you're going to talk about procedural defects, and you're also going to talk about what are called substantive defects or equity or fairness defects. So once you're done with that, you then will go on and talk about whether you had any behavioral health issues. This is key now in the Army with the Kennedy settlement. Any kind of behavioral health issues, PTSD, anxiety, depression, you name it, whether that affected you and helped lead to your separation. After that, you're going to talk about what happened after you got out. You're going to talk about the good things about yourself, the kind of jobs you had, and the way that you have rehabilitated from this period of time. So that's what you're going to do as far as walking through everything. The next thing after that is you'll get questions from the board, and I'll tell you about that in the next video. My number is 931-217-7648. Text or just give me a call. You can also email at jphillipslaw22@gmail.com. And finally, we have an app down below, which is our appointment app, and you can just book an appointment with us anytime. Appreciate you. Have a great day.